city, and it was great. Now he was looking for a permanent location in to where to expand, and he was looking at, and the mayor told him to look at the Blood Island Mississippi River Museum. So our experience, what we're currently building, is a lot like if you take the St. Louis City Museum on the left, which is an immersive playground, and Meow Wolf on the right, which is an immersive art experience, but you combine those two and add an open world game layer. So you won't be using a headset, you won't be using your phone, you'll be fully engaged in this location-based physical experience. And there's also a non-linear storytelling side to it. So this is the building we're currently in. We're specifically on the second floor inside the building, which is this old, like, brutalist Hello. Okay. It's this brutalist architecture building built in July. It was opened July 4th, 1982, and closed in 2018. So it's about 33,000 square feet. That not only is huge, but has 2 full-size ships in it that we plan to build on top of. So on the right, it's a Mississippi River Queen ship. That's about 4 stories in a 5-story octagonal space. The right is a northern ironclad ship that has cannons, and these are both like designed to be replicas. So the cannons we cannot move; they're heavy, they're made out of cast iron, but they're great assets that we have where we can extend and build on top of. So an example of how we're using Unreal Engine would be this. So this is actually, you go to the second floor, you can actually see this. This is a real thing on site that Christopher built out of recycled, reclaimed materials, which you can kind of see the spray cans and the kind of hosing and hubcaps and different things. Mostly built this all by himself. And once you walk inside the portal, we're extending it through digital displays, which we're currently using 3 TV screens to extend the the physical display digitally using Unreal Engine. This is currently a work in progress. I will be updating this, adding flying vehicles and different things like that. But it shows how we're extending the physical world digitally. And we'll be connecting this to Memphis's day and night cycle. So if it's day outside, it'll be day inside, and so on. Another example would be, I don't have like a proper image, but this is how we plan on transforming our riverboat, which will have some of those playground elements, as mentioned before. We'll have stadium seating, slides. There will be human characters that you can interact with, as well as other characters. And we'll be projection mapping across. It's in an octagonal room, but we'll be projection mapping probably with 20 different projectors, Unreal Engine. And all the Unreal Engine visualization will actually be pre-rendered. The reason why it's pre-rendered has to do with a lot of power consumption, so that cut down on using an exorbitant amount of power, but also any crazy glitches that could come across. So another character that we have, her name is Louise. Louise is named after the Baron's long-lost wife in the multiverse. So in the story of the experience is the Baron is lost, and if you want to dive deeper, you can find out more of what happened to him. But before he got lost, his wife got lost. And Louise, which back in 2020 was like an AI character that he had, which had pre-canned, pre-recorded responses. So this is what Louise looked like in 2020 in the Quadrant 360 experience. But now with technology, we can literally integrate a proprietary AI agent into Louise that not only is an AI agent, she will have a hologram inside of her. Once you get your wristband, which we're calling a travel pass, you'd be able to connect to Louise with whatever item, score, gamification you've accumulated, and you'd actually be able to see the content inside Louise and have a one-on-one conversation with Louise. She's here to help you. There will be 18 different opportunities to interact with Louise because there will be 18 different worlds you can explore, which starts out with more of a steampunk vibe. We'll have steampunk, cyberpunk, elemental worlds, and so much more through the 33,000 square feet. So Louise will be run by Unity. Unity is actually a real-time game engine. Louise will be run by Unity, as well as we'll have an internal digital twin, meaning we can change out digital content in the physical locations every day. It makes it easy to swap out content with our internal digital twin, and we're using Unreal Engine as well, as mentioned before. And if there's anybody that's not familiar with Unreal Engine, think of how we're using Unreal Engine, how like a map painting or background painting we use, but instead we have the benefit of having like this digital, ever-changing, interactive experience that adds a lot of depth into it. The wristband technology that we're using are RFID wristbands. It's a way for us to keep track of your items and score. Because the gamified component in the experience actually, phase one will be a kind of light gamification. We are splitting it into 3 different phases. Phase one coming out next year, but phase one will be more like a scavenger hunt type of gamified system. And with phase two, you'll actually have guilds. A guild will be 2 or more players that will have a leaderboard system. You'll have character classes, and then you'll have factions. Factions will go actually more into the storytelling side. I know I'm kind of going off slide, but kind of ad-libbing this. But factions, so we have I guess the bad guy force in our experience, kind of like the Empire in Star Wars, that are called the Meridian. So you can be a part of the Meridian faction. Your guild can join a faction, and there will be a leaderboard for that faction. After phase one, we'll actually have seasonal content. So a season will be 90 days, where we will change out content every day per season. At the end of the season, you'll actually have the leaderboard, the faction leaderboard, that will determine who takes control of the multiverse. So that's actually part of our gamified side. It's really like an open world, kind of choose your own adventure gamified experience. Kind of went off slide, but I'm going to go back to the slide again. So at the top is the Voxon display. Voxon is a 3D volumetric holographic display that is powered also by Unity. And then on the bottom is an example of projection mapping inside our ship. So this is actually inside our 4-story room. So it's actually more close-up shot. It's a much wider, bigger building. It's a huge building, a huge ship. But that is a projection test we were doing as well. And we're also using Dolby Atmos to power our ships, both of our ships and a ride simulator experience. And this, we call ourselves the Pirates of Mud Island. There's actually a flag on Mud Island that said Pirates of Mud Island, so we've adopted that as our mascot. So we are a band of pirates led by Christopher Reyes, who's